Yo, welcome back to Marathon Money. Today we're not talking about a hype. We're talking about a company that just shook the market. DVLT, the tickers are Datavault AI. Saw shares jump after 23% after hours. Actually, it's now up almost 40% right now after hours, and it's going crazy. With the market right now is up almost $1.19, 42% this morning at 5 a.m. New York time. We have the CEO on the show. That's who you see on the screen, Nathan Bradley. How's the excitement treating you?
Hi, Kenny. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Look, it's pretty fresh deal. We've been working night and day. I've been traveling quite a bit. We've been talking quite a bit. So, I appreciate you taking the time to spotlight us. It's a company that has worked really hard over a long period of time, and we've been a little bit ahead of the curve. Really lucky to have an opportunity to enhance our world, through the use of AI and blockchain technologies that we can trust. Datavault is about building a model that allows people to use AI, but also not have their identity stripped or their content pilfered. There is a subservient role that AI is to play. And when it serves us, we have a major opportunity. And so Datavault's about, putting data to work for people. We believe we've solved for poverty. We believe we have a system that can turn data to cash. It can help everybody in the world. It should put a floor in the deal, in our view of it. We think that we're going to be able to install a technology that allows for us to create a better bottom, to capitalist society in America. We don't need to be walking over people on the way to work. So the way that we believe Datavault can serve our customers, most importantly, and our stakeholders in the creation of value is really to help people see the value of data and have data respected to the point where people can have their sovereign ownership of it and their ability to see that value for the first time. And in seeing that value, being able to execute upon it. It's not something just exclusive for Bloomberg anymore, to have a special terminal where he could sell data. Brilliant, business model and way, way ahead of his time. But Bloomberg is a basic cable to what is now a YouTube that pops up everywhere inside organizations. People like you that have hustled so hard to build, a community and so many stocks that you've covered, so many successes you've had, things you've called, shots you've seen. These are all your experiences. And if we could put it in a data vault, Kenny, you could see a value. And rather than just being checking savings, you could have checking savings data and that third bank account where you've created so much value and companies have been preying on that value. You know that you've been monetized outside of your own financial realm. You've created things that created value, but other people used it.
Man.
So that's I'm getting a weird feedback, but okay. So
yo, dude, that's amazing. If something like that could be created, that would definitely change not only the landscape of how people view human data, but also how jobs are created and how unique you're going to be for certain jobs. You know what I mean? So like, that's the first thing that come to mind. And just like, when you start building that value, it's not going to be questionable if you can do something or you can't do something. Stuff like that comes into play. But the 150 million Bitcoin investment into your company, that's no small feat. What is the play here? How's that going to be used?
We're in the very, very beginning. We're in the first inning, maybe third pitch. We are just getting started. It may seem like a huge infusion, and it is, but it is the very tip of the iceberg, the beginning. We have a multi-billion-dollar challenge ahead of us. Our competitors lack of freedom to operate. We own patents. We worked hard to establish a moat around Datavault. We own what we do, and we're practitioners in a space that needs guidance. We have a lot of technology that's rushed into the market, and you can look at things like Napster. And how Napster was so ahead of its time. And you remember I'm Gen X.
Couldn't make money. Yeah, it was so ahead.
I'm Gen X, so I remember, Public Enemy, and I remember how Napster was. I remember how it was an amazing rush of technology. But then we started to say, what about the rights? What about the rights of the artist? What about the rights of the consumer, to just take everything they want and never pay for anything? And there was not a monetization model around Napster, and Napster failed. And, when you look at, things like Napster AI, no one said the phrase, there is a initiative around the future of even the oldest things that are in our technologies, where AI can see where we missed the mark. We can perfect these systems, and you end up with, as Apple has iTunes, and they had the iPhone, and they were the fast follower, and maybe there's a lot of intelligence about that in human beings, where we rush out with great inventions, but then the fast follower is the one that feasts on the actual opportunity. Well, what about the inventors? What about I remember Two Live Crew and all the things that were around Napster,
and
you remember all the creativity, but all that got stifled.
Yeah, once Napster got stopped, all that stopped too. I actually see the vision.
Now we're in an evolution, right? The AI is we are rushed to market, but there was no constructs.
Yeah.
So what we focused on was, we knew this thing was coming, and we knew blockchain was special. And that blockchain was misunderstood in general. Crypto was used for transactions because people rushed into that PayPal space. Everybody sees Fiserv on the credit card swipes. And we see that if you could just be the passive player, a little parasite on every transaction in the world, what a wonderful model. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, these are amazing companies, but they built a network. And the network became so valuable to us because we could swipe a credit card and get what we wanted. But there was always this tax, always this third party extracting from that, and then the value of that network comes into question. And so the blockchain enabled us to go direct. I could pay you, you could pay me, and we don't have a bank. But that introduces all kinds of problems. What, are we going to have all our money under a mattress? Are we going to have an iPhone that's got all of our money in it? And we still need a bank. We still desire security for that asset. You don't want someone to come in your skylight and take your cell phone and have all of your wealth. And so decentralization has consequence. AI has capability, but no one's put their arms around it for us to say, here's how you protect yourself. Because when AI learns you, Kenny, it doesn't need you anymore.
Yep. 100%. There's no rails. There's no guardrails.
Right. So if you look at Amazon, learns companies and then becomes them. What a wonderful model. If everybody signs up to sell on my platform and I learn their business and I take it to market, there's maybe one of the richest people in the world that did that model. You put up batteries, as a business on Amazon, and all of a sudden Amazon batteries show up. AI is an acceleration of that concept. AI will do that in an afternoon to your entire business, to your entire constructs, your friends, your family, find everything about you, exploit it for its own use, and leave you with nothing. So that concept is the data vault. The data vault is where you create a vault for your own self. You claim yourself. You could sue AI if AI used you improperly, if you had claimed yourself properly. And you see celebrities with rights, that do sue and successfully sue for damages, but they've created LLCs and they claim themselves. And there's so much infrastructure, for the general public. It's difficult to claim your own likeness and defend your own likeness when you're trying to make, your monthly payments and keep a family afloat in this country. So the idea, I think, in America is, there's this monster that's been let out, that around AI, blockchain as an ability for us to trust things around us, to verify someone's credentials, before you go into a surgery, verify somebody's credentials before you put your kid on a bus, and to have information that's relative to people's competencies and capabilities and credentials, and prove it, but also remunerate it and pay for it. There's a sustainability in every family. There's a wealth creation that's capable in America. It's the best part about us. How much you put in, you could get out. But if AI starts taking that from you, it's unfair. And so Data Vault is about, let me automate the processes that now AI can, under my subordination, can be utilized to fully exploit my own data, my own self, the idea that I would have a constant working mind on my entire existence, and that everything I'm doing, every word I utter, has a backing, a friend, as something that is working on my behalf and exploiting more value, more happiness, more wealth, everything that I desire, keeping in touch with my family, understanding the pain around me and how I can help heal it. Those things require complexity in thinking. And if we can cognitive offload to these systems and have them return to us very simple tasks that allow us to succeed, this is the power of AI. And in the data vault, we allow that to happen. And we're creating a constructs where we can claim ourselves, where we can own our data, where we can see the value of the data we create and turn it to cash, just like Bloomberg did for 40 years in this country.
I would love, like, they've been stealing my data for years, and using it all the time to make their own profits. But
welcome to the club.
But with this kind of new accelerated growth and this technology that you have that's entering the space, and then allowing people to use their own data to monetize themselves, to keep their own likeness, what is your plan for the next 4 quarters? What does the next 4 quarters look like for Datavault right now?
Yeah, I love the question. I think, for us, what we are tasked with is productization and commercialization. I spent 8 years before I went public this time. Last time I built a company called Audio Eye, ticker AEYE. We solved the internet for people with disabilities. We focused on access, the Section 508 of the Americans with Disabilities Act that allowed for ramps and rails, widening of doors. You can't go into a building and not recognize the accessibility features. You also don't look out the window and see people with ramps and rails on their backs to access your building. But in the internet, when we created it in 2003, it was a patent portfolio, and we patented it, and we brought it to market. And you would swear in 2003, I wouldn't be working right now. It would be I'd have a gold scepter and gold teeth, and I would have a lot of wealth created from an idea early in the internet that was just based on common sense and had technology around it. Now, I found in probably Kenny, where I believe people, in particular people with disabilities, are overlooked, mismanaged, mishandled, all the things that we do that are offensive to groups that have already been disadvantaged in life. And we create technology and we expect, everybody to just get on and do what an able-bodied person would be able to do without consideration of people that face physical challenges. So we created that system. We patented it. We took it public way early, and it was a penny stock, and it suffered for many, many years. We had to convince the government that this rule would apply to the internet. We had to bring people with seeing eye dogs into the IRS and show them that we couldn't do the taxes online if you had the lack of vision, low in hearing, low in learning, and then autism, all of the things that affected people's ability to use technology, we were solving. We built a platform. If you put it up against Facebook from a code to code standpoint, what we did was harder. What we did had social impact that tremendous. We helped millions of people to this day, a company that helps millions of people every day access their stuff. It's on my gravestone. I invented it. I almost went bankrupt, going after it as a business. And I was obsessed with it. And I met people that were suffering, and I had a solution. And it took me over 15 years to take it public in a real way. It was a penny stock, and it came up from a very unique place in America. And it was a penny stock. Then it was a NASDAQ traded company. It achieved during the pandemic, when we got a view of the world, if it was just online, AudioY, a company I created, AEYE, that company solves the internet for people with disabilities. And it was very difficult. By the time I had success in it, I was already diluted. I had already sold my soul to Wall Street. I was there as a vessel that they could, that ultimately people that controlled that company and me at the time were able to really feast on the opportunity financially. And it's to kind of God's will, I believe, because all true altruism or philanthropy is anonymous. I'm not famous for solving the internet for people with disabilities. But we invented some stuff in 2003 that kind of set the stage for that entire industry. And there was precursors to that.
What you're really telling me here is that you have every capability of doing this, taking data that people have and produce on their own and making it a monetized asset.
And the point about Datavault is timing. I took 8 years in patenting and building technology, and now I'm commercializing it. And you get better in life. I'm 50 years old. So, the idea that when I was a young man and I found within my team this capability that key members, Sonia Choi, Joshua Paul, Alfred Blakey, these are big thinking people who can execute. And I've left, Jeff Jones off the list, who is my CTO, who's probably one of the most brilliant people I've ever worked with. And there's a bunch of others that I've left off, Bob Bubeck and others that have really focused on this company for a long time. And what we've done as a team is executed on time. We stayed private until we were commercial ready. I learned that the public markets are a public trust, and that every dollar that comes
100%.
in, you mentioned the 150 million coming in. It's a burden to me today. It is a requirement of me to make that 10 to 20 times back for my investor.
But that 150 million gives you cash room. So we don't have to worry about dilution risk, because that gives you
and
cash
also,
room.
Look, I got nibbled. There's a process of nibbling, where Wall Street nibbles on you. It gives you just enough to make sure that you're incentivized, but also make sure that their stake is much higher than yours. And that nibbling is very hard for people. You could talk to any CEO that isn't a foregoing, company that needs capital, and all companies need capital. But if you're not break even cash flow, which many technology companies can't be, because you've got to invest to get to scale, and you're trying to get into the multi-billions in a break even. And you don't want to break even in the low millions. A lot of companies get obsessed with breaking even too early, when they need to invest in scale and infrastructure, cybersecurity. For us, there's a lot of prerequisite requirements. I need a supercomputer. There's a bunch of stuff that we need to execute this plan. So we're executing our plan. I've got key people, a lot of people from Audio AI. Jeff was the coder behind Audio AI. He's the coder behind, this incredible initiative. And he's got a team in Atlanta, Georgia, that I'd put up against anybody in the world. I would not trade a single company for their engineering team. I believe I have the best in America right there in Atlanta, Georgia. People like KP Reddy have been feeding talent into that from Georgia Tech community for a long time. And we have a strong relationship around, our American built model around technology. So that's my core. And I have a lot of efficacy under my belt with my team, and we're bringing in this money to make huge returns for our investor. We're laser focused on commercialization, revenue generation, and exploiting this technology in the marketplace.
So when do you think we'll be able to see like this actual platform where people's data actually get monetized and they can start seeing generate measurable revenue? When do you think
So we are commercial ready. We are working with IBM right now.
I saw that partnership.
Yeah. So the beauty of AI is there is utilities and agents that we're turning up. We're turning up a valuation engine and a scoring engine. And those are agents that use the Watson X AI platform. And we're using IBM engineers, orchestrated by Jeffrey Jones, my CTO, that is helping infuse our patented technology on top of IBM's, industry leading AI platform. And we believe it's the trusted American AI. And we're building on that bones connections to all blockchains. You saw we announced XRP. We've already been integrated to Bit sidechain. So we're at the top tier, and then all the way down to Chia and Phantom and all the chains. So we're chain agnostic. And we have a platform that any person can go to Datavault.one. This is Datavault.one, and you can request an account, and you can start to load data assets into a platform.
Man, so one question I really want to ask you: what 3 big catalysts investors should watch out for in the next 6 to 12 months or 18?
So, I really feel catalyst for us will be our supercomputer. We announced yesterday, obviously, this 150 million. There's a site selection and a couple of key aspects to that. And then, we're putting together also, if you look at the exchanges, We've announced a capability tied with NYIAX that's has a NASDAQ affiliation. We're able to use the NASDAQ financial framework through NYIAX to trade tokens on the NASDAQ. And so our data vaults are monetized with NASDAQ infrastructure. We're priced out with IBM. So we're using IBM in the middle. And on the front, we have Clear. So you're able to KYC the customer. You're able to develop your data assets and tokenize them, and then you can trade them on the NASDAQ. We're building, and what I would see in the near future is our launch of an NIL exchange where any American can claim their likeness. And in addition to that, they're able to value and monetize their data assets. So if you used Amazon for the last 20 years, what is that data worth? And you can pump that into your data vault. And by the way, we never take data, we never touch it. Our secret sauce is that we are a meta layer. We use the Web3 model where we don't move data. We do a touchless appraisal of it, and we allow you to sell it from your own software vending machine. We create a vending machine data vault inside your own infrastructure, and we allow you to see its value for the first time, to experience your data, and also see its value and turn it to cash. And when in that process of turning it to cash, we're lining up specific genre-based networks and markets for you to clear your data to cash. And so we're doing that with elements. So think of copper, gold, lithium, energy like geothermal and other things that under earth that we can, under RWA, tokenize and turn to cash. So you'll see us launch an elements exchange, an NIL exchange, an American political exchange, where we take out the parasites of Act Blue and Win Red, and we start to let people invest directly to campaigns, and campaigns get the money without all this parasitical activity on top of that transaction. So we're building the American political exchange. We're building the elements exchange and the NIL exchange. And we already had the information data exchange. So sell your data using IBM infrastructure on top of patented data vault, and we help you claim your likeness and turn it to cash. When you look at the catalysts coming, it's the launch of these exchanges and the proliferation of the acoustic side of our business. We've created an exceptional acoustic technology that we own technological patents on, and you could see us exploiting that in the marketplace in the form of a standard that we're going to license out. So we're using this capital to set base and attack these markets and put our company in a position to compete in the Fortune 100.
Oh, that's what we can see in the next 12 to 18 months. We got a lot of things going. And I like to hear the NILs, they're big things. Definitely data exchange is going to be huge. I can't explain to that. Politics is big. So you're really attacking some humongous platforms here that will literally brings it right to the front of people's doorstep. So that's phenomenal to hear. So let's talk about, profitability and revenue.
Yeah, so that is central to our effort. I'm really blessed to have Brett Moyer on my team, my CFO. He's lived through hell. He took a company public too early. It was way ahead of its time. Had acoustic technology that was such of high quality that people OEMs or organizations like Samsung and LG that are really profit motivated, they left off a lot of features. From an audio experience standpoint, in the home right now, you can seek quality and pay for it and have amazing experiences, or you can go buy what's on the shelf and have the consumer acceptable experience. And what we're talking about on our acoustic side is this HD quality sound and our ability to use it like sonar to get more data for you into your data vault. And so, I think the real focus for us moving forward is going to be how we monetize these things at the highest margin. We're using AI to teach us where these exchanges, you mentioned we're in some big markets. Well, I assure you, they're the biggest markets. And we're working top down. And we're being efficient with the use of our technology, like the tip of the spear. Our patented technology is enabling incredible market scalability and penetration. So we're going to go into the biggest markets and turn that to profit for our company. And we're focused on a couple of key acquisitions, as well as a leap forward in our revenue, so we can get qualified for many of the benefits of climbing the NASDAQ. You go from a penny stock, as of yesterday, into the Russell, into the Fortune 100, is where we would like to be. And we've got a lot of wood to chop, a lot of work to do. And that profitability that you're asking me about, the revenue generation, I'm 50 years old. This is 70 patents. If I drop them on your desk, it's like 2 phone books of patents we wrote. I can't do this again. This is my life's work. We're passionate about it. We love this company. We're going to take it all the way. And this is likely my last run on the NASDAQ. And we're going to make it special. Very, very special.
I can 100% see it. I'm with you. I'm following. One thing before we're getting close to the end, I really want to ask this. What is the thing that you can say to investors that are in this stock right now? Your shares are your stock right now. It was at 119. It's above $1. And just the last 5 days is over 80%. Just over last night, over 30%. My thing I want to really hone on is what is one thing you can say to say, yo, what is the reason for me to stick with you, ride with you to $10, $20, $50, you know what I mean, until you get to the mountaintop? What could you say to investors, say like, yo, ride this with me?
So data valuation, data monetization. When you look at the ability to value and monetize data down to the consumer level, we have an ability to enable companies into the future to turn data to cash. If you could look at every NASDAQ company, every publicly traded company, as a matter of fact, and turn the latent potential of their data into cash on a non-balance sheet item, to move it to the balance sheet in the form of cash, that's a breakthrough unheard of. That's an economic value. There's no company that can deliver that other than Datavault, because we're patented. We're going to protect the moat. And we have patent claims that, I would tell you this, the oldest banks in America are looking to this space, tokenomics. You hear about RWA. You have to ask yourself, who has the freedom to operate in America? Who owns the United States patents on tokenomics, branded tokenomic RWA? Maybe look that up. The idea that banks will owe licensing before they're able to enter the market. We're the gatekeeper. Okay. We worked hard to build the moat. If the U.S. Patent Office means a damn thing, our company is incredibly valued, unappreciated, and has on our inventions, which taught the world a lot, have to be remunerated and protected for these shareholders. So we're going all the way to the mat on protecting this moat. You're with us because we own it for 20 years. That's why you're with us.
Yeah, that's 100%. In that conversation, government contracts come into mind. Is that on the table for you guys?
Of course it is. Well, the AP, the American Political Exchange, is a product of years of lobbying effort. We understand that market. We understand the inefficiencies of how it works, and we got approved by the Federal Elections Commission to get in there and solve problems. We're using blockchains, and we announced a Valor initiative using blockchain so people don't steal your Purple Heart. Don't say they served in the Marine Corps when they didn't. People say they're a Navy SEAL, and those special people get their benefits, diluted by liars. So we had a solution to that, a blockchain, a data vault. So a data vault with a Valor coin, very simple, elegant use. Think of it like popcorn in the lobby for us. I mean, it's kindergarten to how to solve that problem, but we're doing it in an enterprise way, high cybersecurity, tier 1 secure facilities where that's going to be housed. So that simple solution is like a little flower inside our government, and we're going to solve problem after problem after problem. I don't care if it's a dog license, in a municipality. One of our founders doesn't like the dogs on Wall Street not being licensed. So the idea that we have so many opportunities, big and small. We're looking at the very top tier opportunities, and we're looking to monetize them. The federal government of the United States is number one. It's the number one target. Absolutely. We solve problems for them. We make efficiencies for them. We turn data to cash. They need cash. We have a deficit, so in a deficit environment, we are a solution. If the federal government would move RWA to a token, our national debt is gone. If you look under Earth,
how close are you to that? How close are you to that? How close are you to getting that done?
The technology has been there. It is not. It is socio-economic now. It's lobbying. It's getting the government to see the value of this. XRP ran out like Napster. People are afraid. You say the word token, you get banned from Yahoo if you say token. It's like there is an absurd overcorrection. Our government brings a blowtorch when they should have brought a candle. They bring a candle when they're supposed to bring a blowtorch. There is so many problems that our government is addressing, and its incompetency to handle much of any of it is offset by entrepreneurs, innovators, private companies in America that are running to our country's aid. We see this inefficiency. We see this corruption. We see all the things that the blockchain can reveal and fix. And it's simply a matter of time before common sense wins. That's why you're a Datavault shareholder, because we're solving these problems from a common sense standpoint of using AI and blockchain to fix things that it fixes. And we have Datavault, which is a patented system that helps you control that and make it worthy of our government. It's not some foreign entity or something that can't be trusted like ChatGPT, where it's just out for a profit motive that no one can kind of figure out yet, but it's huge. So my thing is Datavault is the patented player. We solve for the problems facing our country. And of course, we're focused on the federal government, and we're going to get major grant funding. And we're looking at exploiting that market across all of the areas that we fix.
So we're getting close to the end. I want to summarize this, what you guys do and are. First thing I would like to say, I love companies that basically helps other people make money. And that's what you're doing. It's very plain and simple. Companies that help people make money is literally the pathway to getting successful. It's serving others.
That's
the
right.
biggest gap right now in the world is data being used, and the person giving the data is getting zero in return besides ads of stuff they like. And everybody's getting tired of it. You have figured out a way, and you have found a way to commercialize it, to figure out a way for people to make money on monetizing their data on a greater scale. You have also figured out a way to monetize the political, also, NIL deals. Basically, growing something where people can And soon or later, when it becomes mass adoption, that even when a kid start at birth, everything he does, they can see the what potential value that person has and what they have done in their past. And then it will create a capital floor where you might have the potential to eradicate poverty and give
Yes,
everybody a chance if they want
that
to take it.
nail on the head. Nail on the head. This whole thing comes from an invention. Albert Blair Blakey III came to me and he said, Nate, if I go into church and I don't have any money, could I donate data? And that comment to me, I was coming off of Audio Y. I had the biggest social impact I'll ever have. And I said, what would I do to have a social impact that could beat Audio Y? It's Datavault. Datavault is, and you nailed it. That is that you put the floor in the deal. You know, in data, if you have a beating heart, you have a chance in this country because that there is a data that comes from your own being that is of interest, that is of value. And there is a you know, just to understand us and kind of in conclusion, you know, my father was a senator in Arizona. His name is David Bradley, Senator David Bradley. If you look at senatorbradley.com, my father was a leader of people. He's a civil rights leader. He was an amazing human being, and he helped hundreds of thousands of children in the foster care system in Arizona. And I've been chasing him my whole life. You know, I've been trying to have impact and sustainability and do what he did in his baby boom generation, in my generation X. You know, it's a tough slug. I'm not there yet. They named a building after him in Arizona. He would have been governor if he hadn't died. But I'm telling you right now, the Bradley family, we've had impact, and we're
Yeah.
going to continue to.
Yeah.
And my colleagues, Jeffrey Jones,
Yep.
Sonia Choi, Joshua Paul, Alfred Blakey, we're going to conquer. We have a big mission.
100%. We gotta end it on that note. Guys, check out Datavault. It's doing big things. Don't miss it, man. Don't miss the opportunity to be a part of something great. Uh, this is an opportunity to join the efforts. Nathan Bradley, seriously, amazing dude. Had this conversation great. This is next level thinking. This is next level thinking. This is something I would 100% say that we're as people and consumers, we're the only ones not making money on our own data, and other people are. And he has figured out a way. And when you figure out a way to make money for the masses, just like Apple did with apps, when they brought app stores, they brought 1 million jobs to the market. This has the same effect, and they have somebody who believes in them that gave them $150 million, and they're going to get more. And then the fact that they're able to get that and find that company to give them that, other companies will start looking into it. You guys, peace, enjoy. This is Friday morning at 6 a.m. The market's about to open, and it's going to be a wonderful day. Thanks, Bradley.
Thanks. Thank you, Kenny. You're awesome, man. Thank you. Keep it up. You're
Peace.
awesome.